there are a lot of tropes of anxiety in this. For example, आपके जो words हैं, like नींद को सुलाते हम हैं मगर, and दिल मेरा लहू लुहान सा. It's like people with mental health almost have to trick themselves to sleep. There's also very strong imagery, a big connection between how we ignore our mental health. So if you could just talk about that and how we can be more aware of these things.
The song starts with मलाल सा जिंदगी को हो गया, जहाँ पे बैठा था मैं वहीं पे दिन रात से मिला. And the metaphor there is, जैसे मैं इस वक्त मैं इस जगह पे बैठा हूँ, जहाँ पे बैठा था मैं वहीं पे दिन रात से मिला. मतलब पूरा दिन जो गुजरा, वही वक्त जो है वो रात से भी वहाँ मिला. That means I didn't move an inch. I think that's the first thing that happens to a person who goes through mental health. There are not many takers for things like this because it makes us uncomfortable. God damn it, it makes me uncomfortable when I do it. But trust me, each time I perform this song, by the end of it, you know, I feel good drained. You know, it's the kind of drain जैसे आप दौड़ के आते हैं ना वापस, तो आपकी सारी एनर्जी चली गई है, लेकिन you feel like there's something that has gone away from your heart and your system. जहाँ पे बैठा था मैं वहीं पे दिन रात से मिला. मतलब I didn't move an inch. And this is what happens to people who have this thing to deal with day in and day out, and how, you know, sometimes the parents or sometimes a friend just say कि यार ये ड्रामा कर रहा है. That's a very very sad thing to say. And फिर वक्त को हम निभाते रहे, मगर जैसे forcefully we go out, निभाने के चक्कर में निभा लिया, तो वो निभा रहे, अपने मुंडेन जॉब कर रहे, ब्रश कर लिया या खाना खा लिया, या but we're not really living. And then कुछ देर और जो हंगामा खसलत की है बात, ये जो इर्द गिर्द हंगामा है हमारे इर्द गिर्द ऐसे, लेकिन द फैक्ट इज खसलत जो उसकी है वो यही है कि कुछ भी हंगामा हो, कैसा भी हो, कहीं ना कहीं कुछ देर के लिए आपको लगेगा वो ठीक हुआ है, लेकिन वो सिर्फ पशे पर्दा हुआ है, उसके नीचे वो है मामला. फिर जैसे जाते हैं हम, उसके बाद आता है कि गुनाह के काबिल हम नहीं, कत्ल के लायक हम नहीं, हम क्या इतने गए गुजरे हैं कि कोई हमें कत्ल भी ना करना चाहे. When is the next thing going to happen? When is the next thing going to happen? But the next thing is the same thing.
Have you ever come across people who maybe had a different interpretation of it than you do? Or something you didn't see in it and a viewer or like a listener?
I think everybody who listens to Malaal, I am certain that वो अक्सर अपने आप से बातें करते रहते हैं. They are aware of themselves. They're really aware of themselves. And people who are aware of themselves, they're the ones who absorb everything. And जब आप जज्ब कर लेते हैं हर एक चीज़, तो आपके पास फिल्टर नहीं है कि अच्छी चीज़ जज्ब करनी है, दूसरी चीज़ छोड़नी है. तो फिल्टर ना होने के चक्कर में सब कुछ आपके अंदर आता है, वो समेट लेते हैं आप. And what happens to it inside is very different to everybody. For example, experience could be same, how you react to it would be different than how I react to it, okay? But the cause and effect wise, like the cause could be different, but the effect is you know, depression, this uncertainty of anxiety of when will this go. Each time I get a message from, you know, on an Instagram or Facebook, I really you know, read it very carefully. It's a big thing for me because अमूमन आर्टिस्ट के साथ ऐसा नहीं होता है जैसे जिस पर्पस से उसने लिखा है वही पर्पस या वही परसेप्शन ऑडियंस भी सुने. लेकिन इस मलाल में अक्सर अमूमन ऐसा होता है कि they relate to it exactly the way it is. Even with the visuals, the three perception, the future and the past, you want to get rid of things that are gone by, and you're anxious about what is, you know, going to come. And बुढ़ापा जो है वो आ रहा है, मतलब मेरे लिए मेरा जो बचपन है वो गया है, पीढ़ी आने वाली है, तो उस चक्कर में एंजाइटी ऑफ पास्ट थिंग्स दैट हैव हैपेंड एंड एंजाइटी ऑफ व्हाट इज टू कम एंड वांटिंग टू लेट गो वन थिंग टू हैव अनदर.
Also emptiness and hollowness.
I think emptiness का
I'm
मेरा
sorry
ये
interrupting you, but it's also interesting that how something which is emptiness and hollowness, that feeling brings people together. And it will resonate with me, with him, with everyone.
I think बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं आप. I think one of the biggest thing, I have this analogy about emptiness, uh, which is imagine a cup or a glass which is full. Okay, अगर मैं उस पे दूध रखूँ या चाय रखूँ, कुछ भी रखूँ, 10-15 दिन रखूँगा, वो फुल है, वो सड़ जाएगा, है ना. तो ये ज़रूरी है कि मैं अपने ग्लास को, जो इमेजिन माई बॉडी इज़ माई ग्लास, मैं उसको बारहा एम्प्टी करता रहूँ फॉर द न्यू थिंग्स टू कम इन. एंड लाइक आई सेड, व्हेन न्यू थिंग्स कम इन, आप चूज़ नहीं करते. एंड आई थिंक फॉर आर्टिस्ट्स, they can't choose to absorb things that are only positive and things that are only negative. It just comes unfiltered, and that's what makes you as a person. And I think every person, in the world is kind of an artist. कहीं ना कहीं creative वो कहीं ना कहीं है, लेकिन वही रहता है ना कि आप do you want to take action to it. क्योंकि अगर आपको मालूम हुआ आप क्रिएटिव है, तो आपको you will have that urge to take an action over it. And I think taking action causes a lot of things. Sometimes anxiety is the muse, sometimes happiness is the muse. But at the same time, if you don't realize that, there's a song of Alif which is called Dilgir, and it has a line which says Einigatisch Chisas vad kroot timsum tatinar, which means darkness has 1,000 promises, but उसके तरीके मोहब्बत करने के बहुत ही hard है. You have to go through that darkness for the light to reach you. I think that is one of the biggest takeaway that I take away from this, and I wish that everybody takes away.
And it's also not always bad to be uncomfortable.
Oh, it's absolutely okay to be uncomfortable. Yeah.
I remember once I had this professor, and he said something very profound to me. He said, when you're creating and you're writing, you've been inspired, you have the surface, and you start going down, and you reach a point where you'll feel constricted. कि अब इससे नीचे जाऊंगी तो निकलूंगी कैसे? You have to go deeper and deeper, and it'll make you uncomfortable, be scary. It's like if you don't go there, you will not find the tropes of what you're trying to create. It's not always a bad place to be in.
It is not. इससे पहले भी, मतलब जब आपको मालूम हुआ कि ये मुनासिब है, ये मुमकिन है. फॉर एग्जांपल मैं कहूँगा आपसे कि आप आज से 5 साल बाद या 10 साल बाद you'll be one of the finest of whatever you want to be. Okay, now you know it for a fact that will happen. Okay, वो सर्टिफिकेट आपको मिली है. The anxiety of time reaching there, the anxiety of wanting to work for it, is something that kills us. And that's the difference between people who we think have kind of made it in the world and others who didn't make it. The only fark मेरे ख्याल से ये है कि they know it and they put in that, they do something about it. If they're feeling anxious, they deal with it, and if they're feeling uncomfortable, they completely absorb it. And I think artist के लिए ये एक process है, and it's a sine wave for every artist.
Yeah, and coming back to Malaal, I think that's what the song really tells you. All your uncomfortable and negative experiences, they're to be savored and paid attention to. Just as much as the positive ones. You can't bypass.
You can't bypass. सियाह सियाह है, सफ़ेद सफ़ेद है, आप नज़रअंदाज नहीं कर सकते. अगर नज़रअंदाज आपने कर भी लिया तो थोड़ी देर के लिए आप शायद कामयाब हो कि मुनासिब हो आपके लिए कि आप पर्दा रख पाए, लेकिन वो कहीं ना कहीं दूसरे तरीके से बाहर आएगा. मे बी फ्रस्ट्रेशन, मे बी समथिंग एल्स, बट इट विल कम आउट. सो इफ़ you feel that you're feeling anxious, it's okay to accept it, because accepting a problem is the first step of the solution. So that's the biggest thing.